Hi, this is Jackie,
This is Diana.
and you're listening to Home Bodies Only, where we welcome all bodies to join us as we dissect and break down HBO's series. And we are talking about the final episode of And Just Like That. It's the final episode of
Season finale.
the season. As we've found out, there's going to be another one.
Yeah.
Woo!
Sort of.
Yeah. Not sure how we feel about that. This episode is episode 10. It's called Seeing the Light. They are recording the podcast, something we're extremely familiar with. They're talking about their worst breakups. Jackie says a woman got COVID, so she wouldn't have to break up with him in person. Che said a woman broke up with them over FaceTime, and Che said that the woman was so nice she didn't see this coming. And then Carrie, trumps it with my husband died, which I did think she was going to mention the Post-it. The Jack
Me
Burger.
too.
Everybody
I'm so glad
did.
you said
Everybody
that.
did. It's all over the place on the internet.
As soon as they were talking about worst breakups, I go, she's going to talk
about
about the Post-it. Duh. And then she threw out the death. I was like, no.
That's not a breakup.
No.
He didn't choose to do it.
I would have liked to hear the writer's room on that.
Yeah, that was lame. That was lame. I don't know. Yeah. So then all of a sudden we see Franklin again, the hot producer guy, right? But anyway, sorry, her husband died, so that's the ultimate breakup, and she's the winner. They take a call. Oh, she wants to take a call, but there's no calls. That's what the hot producer guy says.
Yeah.
So now we are in Carrie's closet, and she tells Biggs Ashes that she's going on a date, and she asks if he's happy. I think I wanted to talk about what she's wearing on the. No, that doesn't make sense. I right after that I pasted the Grazia magazine.
You pasted?
I didn't mean to say posted. I went to say pasted. I guess what she's wearing. That's probably why I did that. Let me see. She looked very pretty, very feminine. I couldn't find out where the dress was from. They called it a peachy pink floral maxi dress with a bold taffeta pink blazer and Paco Rabanne sparkly mini bag. This is like the second Paco Rabanne. Wasn't Paco Rabanne like a cologne, an aftershave? Didn't Paco Rabanne? I think you're too young to know about that. Paco Rabanne, I swear, made an aftershave where they did, that's what the men would smack on their faces, which I don't think men do that anymore after they shave, right?
No.
My dad did.
I mean, if you want to reference, like, what was it, like the Stetson or...
Yeah. My dad used to do the aftershave. He's 87.
And then there was Lady Stetson.
Yeah.
If you got that in your Christmas stocking. Right next to the exclamation point perfume.
Yeah.
No?
Oh,
one?
exclamation. God, oh my
Wasn't
God.
that what it was called,
yeah,
too?
It was called exclamation. It was white with a black top was the exclamation point. And when I believe it was this perfume, we went to college freshman year. We all got everybody got free samples. I hated it. I wouldn't wear it, but I swear everybody wore that. And you were like, just like, oh, like on campus, you could smell it. Anyway.
And I remember like when you'd get the, in the magazine, the
sample
free samples.
Yeah.
And you'd like take out the thing and like rub it on your skin. I'm such a dork.
They still do perfume
fit
samples
nicely
in magazines if there are magazines.
Yeah, I don't
anymore.
get magazines.
Really. I don't anymore.
Yeah. But I used to put the exclamation point perfume in my Kaboodle. I still have a Kaboodle. You know this, right? Did we talk about this?
No.
Okay. We don't have
to. Is it bedazzled? Is the Kaboodle
no
bedazzled?
No, but I'll tell you, that thing can hold some stuff.
What do you do? Okay. What? Wait a second. I want to interrupt.
I proudly carry that into hotels.
Oh.
With my luggage. I have polka dotted luggage, and then I have my Kaboodle
and
on
what's
my
in
other
your
hand.
Kaboodle? Jewelry?
Matt calls it my tackle box, I think. Or that's what he tells
That's
me.
good. I like that.
No, I put like my face wash in there,
your
my toiletries, my makeup. It's all like it's got compartments.
Yeah. And how
I have it in the bathroom if you want me to grab it and show you.
we've
Nobody can
talked
see it on here.
I didn't realize, I know, remember you've talked about the Kaboodle, that I thought you did say you had one, but I didn't know
Yeah.
you. Oh, I want to interrupt Diana because we did get a review on Apple, and I'm happy about this review because it was actually a really nice review, and it was honest, and it just said that Diana sounded like she was whispering, because she was, and she's trying to be. The problem is, I was like, wait, are you talking a little lower because you're worried about waking up your son? And no, Diana's headphones are hooked into her microphone, which I can't do because it echoes Diana. The whole thing is very weird. I don't know why it does that. But anyway, so she sounds very loud to herself. So that's why she was talking like sweaty balls from SNL.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're doing great.
As if I'm
you're
doing great. You know, I like there was some positive feedback in there too.
No, I mean, right now you're doing great.
And then it was,
you sound great.
I'm doing great. Yeah. Thanks. When I thought about it more, I was like, I've listened to some of our podcasts, but I'm wondering if I sounded like the overnight DJ.
Yeah, you sounded like the one talking about sweaty balls on SNL. Sweaty balls.
Yes, I remember the sketch.
Yes, the overnight requests. Yeah, and I was apparently like, bah, and you were being sexy. I don't know. Anyway, you're sounding good. Is it killing your ears, or it's okay?
No, I'm okay.
So
I adjusted my mic. We're good.
All right. So anyway, sorry. Kaboodle. I think that's awesome. I think you should take a picture of it and post it so I can see it.
Oh, I will.
Yes, please. And we can attach that to our next post. Yeah. Okay. So now she's on the date. I described her outfit. They're walking on the street. Peters admits to her that he Googled her. He's like, New York Times bestselling author. She's like, oh, that's not me. That's the other Carrie Bradshaw, who's a legal secretary suing their employer for severance. And he's like, is it weird I told you that? And she's like, no, or whatever. And then she's like, okay, New York State Teacher of the Year 2018. That's impressive. That's all I have to say.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in that field, and you got to be
that's
really involved in the unions for that.
Yeah, that's true. You got to be really involved with the union. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. To be up there. So.
Yeah. So that is impressive. So when they get to her apartment, he notices her brownstone, says he had a brownstone like that when the kids were young, then says he'd like to kiss her and asks if that would be okay. And I just think he's adorable. And I know it wasn't apparently sexy or whatever. So I think
he's
that's
being very respectful and too at the same time. And
I think it's hard because they're both widows. I think that's really actually hard.
That's not something you want to imagine being in their shoes.
No,
sort of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not a place that I want to be.
No. So then they do kiss, and he says, I think we did pretty okay for two heartbroken people. There was something. Now I don't remember. Something about. I don't know. Okay. I have something else here that let me see. Oh, this is when. Oh, yeah, it's the same thing. Oh, the bag, though. See, I found out from another website, WWD. It's Women's Wear Daily, I think it's called. That's been around for a while. .com, WWD.com. That Paco Rabanne bag is called Sparkle 1969. So it says Sparkle 1969 bag. Now, wait, I don't know if that means it's from then or it was just called that. So, FYI. So the next day, no, that night, I'm sorry, she calls Seema. By the way, correct. Seema has the same ring as Miranda and the same ring as me, Jackie. That's all I have to say. Yeah. Woohoo! So Seema's with Zed, and they are both smoking. And Seema asks, details, please. And Carrie says, charming, lovely, awful, nervous. And says the awful, nervous part surfaced around a goodnight kiss. Yeah. I don't know my notes. And then Zed is like asking in the background if Seema's hungry. You hungry, boss? And Carrie hears it and says, you're not alone. And Seema's like, Zed. And she's very honest, like in front of him, which I thought was great. And she says, we haven't left this hotel suite in 3 days. I'm having so much fun. We're on the smoking floor. And then she asks if the kiss was awful. And she says, no, just his lips on mine. Zed starts feeding Seema caviar. Carrie tells her how he asked for permission for the kiss, which she understood. But she's like, a contract for a kiss. And then Zed starts kissing Seema, and, she makes a noise, and Carrie hears that. And she's like, that's how I remembered it. Like,
can we like back up a second
the
here?
ring.
The smoking floor, where are they? Like a casino?
I know. I don't know if that is. Does that
Did
really
we find
exist?
out? Because there is no hotel in New York State that allows you smoking.
How do you know?
To smoke in the hotel. Because it's like a state law.
I don't know.
I think it's like a state law. It's completely, I don't know of any hotels in New York State that besides casinos.
Well, it's also not COVID anymore in this story. So, hey, maybe they made it up. I don't know. You could Google it. I didn't look into that. I just was like grossed out by the smoking.
I'm going to fact check
I honestly
that,
was grossed out by the smoking.
I thought it was, yeah, you would be able to, I mean, you've been in a million hotels.
I have.
You would be able to smell
I'm a woman
it
of,
if there was
of
a smoking
hotels.
floor, even. You're so worldly.
I am. I haven't been in a million recently. I go to the Jersey Shore and stay in hotels.
Do you do like a full sweep when you go into a hotel? Like this weekend?
Kind of now I do.
Right?
Now, like more than I used to.
Yeah. I've become like, it's been
the psycho.
It's bad. I come in and like I can't relax until we do a full sweep under the mattress, through the sheets. I rip everything out. I look for
gross
things under the bed, behind the bed, under the couch. Like, yeah. For bugs and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't.
And like we were at a very expensive place. Like it was it was 40th birthday, so we spent money on going away, which was phenomenal. But I still could not trust anybody. I like had to make sure it was clean.
I didn't do it we stayed at the Refinery NYC. Shout out. It was really nice. Day after Christmas. I didn't do it there.
It looked gorgeous.
Yeah, it was awesome. But we did stay in a hotel the night before Thanksgiving on Long Island. And that place, I didn't have to do a sweep because when I walked in, I saw decorations on the ceiling from apparently some kind of party that somebody had, and crumbs on the floor. Like, they didn't vacuum, clearly. Didn't take the decorations down. I mean, things like ripped, like you could tell they ripped it off, but there was tape and I don't know if there was a bridal, like a bachelorette. I don't know what was going on, but I did call them immediately and was like, just to let you know, there's still decorations on the ceiling. So that was gross. That really turned me off. Anyway. Yeah. So there's,
by the way, I just fact checked. No smoking in New York hotels.
So again, it's not COVID and there are smoking floors. Maybe they're all living in an alternate reality universe. Maybe they're all dead.
Or they went down to Atlantic
Maybe
City
they're all
and
dead.
Like in...
Sorry, that's a terrible thing to say.
The smoking.
The second
floor.
season.
Something out of like 1978. We're on the smoking floor.
Well, I kept thinking about it.
I'm sorry, is your private jet have an ashtray too? Like, I'm sorry.
They went to Studio 54.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. So they get off, they they get off the phone. That music starts again from the movie. She turns off. They show Carrie in the bed. You okay? You're looking around. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes I'm like, is it the connection?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. The music starts, from the movie that they would play anytime she thought about Big or something. And she turns off the reading light and it comes back on. She turns it off again. It comes back on again. She looks at it confused. Okay. Now they go to brunch the next morning. I was going to talk about their outfits. Carrie Bradshaw. Oh, no. Nope. That's not the right one. Okay. I have it over here. Where is it? I didn't like her outfit. I don't know what was going on. She had contrasting striped look, pairing a green striped blouse with green, black. They don't really give the brands, though, which is kind of driving me nuts. Striped blouse with green, black, and pink striped pants. But she did have a Chanel vanity bag, Saint Laurent, ivy floral applique silk sandals, and a Tom Brown, oh, there we go, double-breasted silk coat. I didn't like that. I didn't like that look. And Charlotte, of course, conservative and classy. Yeah, I don't know. She also has, she had a Chanel boyfriend watch on and an A-line dress. All right. That's not that exciting. Okay. So Carrie tells them she thinks Big is mad at her. Miranda asks, like, what do you mean? And Carrie tells them how Peter kissed her last night. And Charlotte asks how it was. And Carrie says it was strange to be kissing someone other than Big. And then, but she says how right after her reading light started blinking on and off. And Miranda's like, okay. And Carrie says, you know me. You know I'm not woo-woo about stuff like this. But I think it could be Big. And Miranda's like, in your lamp. I mean, Miranda was getting very, like, defensive. Like, very upset about her being like this. Carrie said, coming through my lamp. Charlotte is woo-woo about this stuff, but she doesn't believe Big would send a message all the way from heaven that she should never kiss anyone ever again. Miranda's like, heaven? Charlotte. Seriously? Carrie's like,
yeah, she was kind of like
she's
really,
getting like angry. Really kind of like that old angry Miranda coming up. It's like, what do you care? So,
girl's got some mood swings.
And then Carrie's like, you think there's no heaven? Miranda's like, you think Big is sitting up on a cloud right now, puffing away on a cigar? And Carrie's like, yes, that's exactly what I'd like to think.
I actually agree.
Miranda, I wrote almost panicked / angry. Since when do you believe in the afterlife? It was almost like her, okay, like her hysteria with Che.
Let's just strip her down to no makeup and we'll just go through that whole scene.
She was wearing a tracksuit in this scene, I think.
I know.
Where am I here? So she's like, I thought we were on the same page about this. I mean, she was really upset that like Carrie was turning against her in this terrible negative feelings about the afterlife.
Bully.
I know. So then where am I here? I thought we were on the same page about this. I don't know what the heck I wrote here. And then Carrie says, I changed my vote to undecided. And Charlotte says, if you can't disprove it, that means it's possible. Stupid. And Miranda makes a joke about the Easter Bunny. I don't know. Like, I can't disprove it.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
This is so stupid. Carrie says,
this whole scene like, to me was just kind of like,
Miranda
okay,
didn't need to be
people.
so angry.
Aggressive.
Yeah, I don't like she was so upset, so like offended. Carrie says she can think that Big, every time I type Big, I don't know why in this phone for my notes, it puts bug. Okay. Why? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's so cute.
That, Carrie can think that Bug is up there smoking on a cloud coming through a lamp to tell me he's mad at me if it makes me feel better. And Miranda's like, it's guilt. Get it fixed. I'm like, whoa. I don't know what was going on.
She was, well, she hasn't hit menopause, so maybe she's
she has
a little itchy.
Miranda has hit menopause. Right. She had her breakthrough bleeding.
What's her excuse then?
And she's in love, like
love.
I don't know. So then Miranda all of a sudden says how Che asked her out to dinner. Che asked her out to dinner with their family this Friday. And Charlotte's like, good.
She softened up.
I know. Charlotte's like,
because she was talking about herself.
Self-centered. Charlotte says, that's a good sign. Things are moving forward. And Carrie's like, I love that you're still that girl. Like, moving forward toward what exactly, right? Then Charlotte gets a text. The trans rabbi is in. And said how she's had 2 drop out due to quote unquote, family emergencies. And Carrie's like, that's unkosher or something. And Charlotte says, it's okay. Who better for a they-mitzvah than a trans rabbi? It's bashert, which means destiny, like meant to be. Now, I feel like this was used back in one of the episodes of the show.
Oh, boy.
Back when, God, I swear they used this term before. Back maybe when she and Harry were getting together. I don't know. but I swear that was used before because I knew what it meant, and I feel like I learned it from Sex and the City. Like I don't
somewhere between that and the scrunchie episode.
No, the scrunchie was the Jack Berger when she was dating Jack Berger because he wrote about a woman in his book that had a scrunchie. Right. And she was like, a scrunchie? Like her voice cracked. Yeah, I have scrunchies in on my braids. Got some braids.
Oh, the braids are. Look at you.
The only reason I wear braids in my hair is my hair stylist told me to or my hair, whatever you call her, because for sleeping on it, it's good. Doesn't pull hair. Anyway, okay. Carrie is texting Samantha, tells her she kissed a man, and Samantha says, first of many, asks how was it. It wasn't big. And then I think Carrie writes, it wasn't big. So then, of course, Samantha writes, so it was small. And then when Carrie says, want to talk?
Chuckle.
Samantha writes, soon. Whoa. The light turns on again after that. Wow.
Dude.
My phone is very funny. I don't know what I wrote, but I think I wrote lamp repair shop, but it says lamp DD. What was I trying to write? Lamp DD repair shop.
Maybe you needed a designated driver.
But I wrote capital DEE space capital DEE. Anyway.
Oh, like DD.
I have no idea. Why did I write that? I mean, I didn't write that. My phone. Okay.
Ooh, maybe it's the other side.
I think so.
Or somebody trying.
I have lots of D's in my life too. You have a D in your life. Yeah. Oh, and you're a D. So maybe it was you.
Yeah.
You and Dave and Donovan.
Yeah, I was like sending you a vibe. We were all like teaming up, and it just.
Okay.
Woo woo.
Woo woo.
Move on.
All right. So Carrie is wearing a blue cashmere sweater. It's like I would call it turquoise. I don't know. With beige trousers. She had on oh my God. Tell me. Why can't
sipping my wine.
Oh my God. What did she have on?
Trap.
Thank
Suspenders?
you.
What do you
word finding. I'm trying to signal it to Diana.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Suspenders. Jeez Louise. They don't mention this though. But she has the hourglass bag from Gucci. And what the heck? It says Balenciaga's Hacker Project. I don't know what that is. She wears earlier in the week. Okay. All right. So she's dropping off the lamp. Asks.
This was a very important lamp, by the way. It's like me, I'd toss the lamp and go buy a new one down at the HomeGoods, but she was fixing the lamp. Was it a real good product?
I don't know. No, but she wanted I could see her being like that though, because it's probably a vintage lamp and she's old school. Like I feel like she would bring it to a lamp repair shop, even if big wasn't. Even if there wasn't any weird.
It was a special lamp.
So she brings it there and she wants to know.
This wasn't a Target $10 holler lamp.
No, I don't think it's definitely like a vintage lamp.
This wasn't like this is what you get in your dorm room.
No.
When you're
because
going
if it was, she wouldn't have brought it to a repair shop. I don't think.
That's right. Yeah.
And she asked, because she asks, "Is this a common problem with older lamps?" And the guy was saying that's very strange. The repair guy.
Also, where is there a lamp repair shop other than New York City?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say no. Actually,
I've been to
there
watch
was
repair,
one. I don't know if it's still there, but there definitely was one in Sorgady's, New York. Good old Sorgady's, New York.
That's right. No, they have a vintage lamp store, and I bet you they repair them.
My husband can repair lamps as well and rewire them.
Of course, he's got like Tiffany lamps, right?
He does. He does. But yeah, he knows how to rewire and other types. I think he taught himself.
I'll keep that in mind for my lamp repair needs. Okay. Thanks.
Well, he's not cheap though. You actually can just pay me
for DD.
You can just pay me.
Yeah. I'll just Venmo you, okay?
Don't worry about him. Okay.
Oh, wait, you can't Venmo people for services anymore.
No, you just don't label it as services. Duh.
I know.
Yeah. I want to mention, I've never mentioned this. This podcast is sponsored by J. Hansel Editing for all your editing needs.
It is.
I do have a side hustle, which I'd like to call it. I don't like to call it a side hustle because it's more than that to me. And I get Venmo'd. All right. I shouldn't even put it out there, but that person who people who Venmo me do not label it as services or else they'd be charged or I'd be charged. FYI. Okay.
Well, it's like if you have like a certain amount, it's like a whole thing now.
No, you don't have to be honest.
The taxes.
You don't have to do it at all. I mean, yeah, if it was like $500, I'm not getting that. All right. Anyway, we're with Charlotte and Harry. I don't know why they annoyed me. Okay. Anthony is there, and he's like, "Behold the hot fella's holla," and so I'm glad that made you laugh.
I gotta stop sipping wine
when I imitate somebody. I know, right? I'm so funny.
Oh, and I have a good cab tonight. I have educated guests. If you've
Where did you get that from?
So good. Empire Wines in Albany.
Oh, you're still doing the delivery stuff?
Oh yeah.
I got to get on
this Cabernet for
maybe
all of our
I should add.
Okay.
What were you gonna say?
If you're a Cabernet fan, educated guest. I'm telling. It's a great Napa cab. I'm telling you.
And bread and butter is very good.
Bread and butter is
that California?
Go-to.
Okay.
Yep. Another Napa cab.
I think I have to
Napa
jump
Valley
on
in Sonoma County.
Can I jump on your next Empire?
Yeah.
Delivery, because then you just bring it to school.
I'll just bring it and pop it in your trunk. I have free delivery from them. I order.
Well, you have someone also being able to get it, right? Because the neighbor gets it or something.
Oh, they deliver on the weekends now. They're that busy now.
Oh,
I get my wine delivered on Saturdays.
Every Saturday?
Just have them come to your house.
I'm just kidding.
No, once every other month.
All right, I got to jump on that. All right, sorry for the side note here.
They deliver,
if you're in the Hudson Valley, Albany area,
Empire Wines in Albany,
good prices.
They're delivering
free delivery
7 days a week down here in the Hudson
Valley because there's a demand.
And when the driver comes, he'll say it. I'm like, "Oh, am I your?" He's like, "Nope, I've got 5." He's like, "I was all the way down to Westchester, and I'm going through Woodstock back up to Albany." I'm like,
"Wasn't me."
Their delivery is hours down.
Excellent.
It's crazy.
Well, I'm jumping on that. Okay, go to their website.
Anyway,
go to their website.
Totally.
Okay. All right. So he gives them the holla, and Harry's like, "Good, but different." And
the special holla.
Anthony says it's the only sourdough holla in New York City. It's an untapped market.
Who doesn't love sourdough?
I know. And then I think
like sourdough grilled cheese. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. I can't stop.
Well, I'm not saying anything overly exciting, so that's all. Because I think Harry says it's hipster holla. I don't know. He does. Does Anthony get mad? I feel like he gets mad. I don't know.
They decide to have like hipster holla and then regular.
Yes, because then he says, Harry says, "We're already doing a they-mitzvah. Give the old Jews something." So he's like, "Fine, 2 loaves at every table. One for the fiddlers on the roof, one for everybody else." Rabbi Jen walks in, says, "Not going to sugarcoat it. Great kid, but basically knows nothing." So the thoughts are to cut down the Torah portion to 2 lines. Charlotte says that would be upsetting. Or then Rabbi Jen says, doing the entire service in English. And Charlotte's like, "No, I did not convert to Judaism to have my child." Oh my gosh, this thing keeps skipping. Sorry. Cutting me off right in the middle of it. Where am I? Oh, "I did not convert to Judaism to have my child be they-mitzvah'd in English." Anthony is like, "That's it." Goes to talk to Rock. Oh, and Rabbi Jen eats the challah, and Rabbi Jen says, "Oh my God, this is delicious!" Like, loves the challah, right? Okay. Rabbi Jen looks very young, like really young.
Yes,
like high school-ish, or a little older.
Like, are you old enough to be a rabbi?
I know.
Right? What's the schooling behind that?
I feel like it would be hard work, but maybe it doesn't take so long. I don't know.
You think about it.
So Anthony basically goes in to tell Rock to like learn their friggin' lines. Like, tries to be like, "Yo, come on." Talks about
this is your job.
Do it. So then we have Che and Miranda. Miranda walks into the place, for this dinner. Miranda's dressed very feminine in this pink girly in a pink dress and a belt. There's a lot of belts this season.
Lots of
bass
belts.
is pumping in this place. Like, it does not look like a place you would go for a family dinner. There's like a cheetah or a jaguar or something on the wall. I always
It looked like they were like in like one of the places you walk downstairs.
She came downstairs. Yes.
Was it?
Yeah. But it didn't even look like a cool club. Like it looked like a seedy bar to me.
Yeah.
I have
a place where we would hang out.
Yes, totally.
Yes. I would.
But I will. This is really kind of weird because today at school, I was doing this activity with a student and there was an animal that had spots on it. And I was like, this is a cheetah. No, I don't know if it's a cheetah. No, it's a leopard. No, the book called it a jaguar. I didn't think the jaguar had spots.
Oh.
Why am I so confused about these cats that have spots?
I thought the jaguar was just tan.
Or black? I don't know.
Did you just say yo?
Yeah, I did.
I love that.
So there was a spotted big cat on the wall of this place. That's all I have to say. I don't know what it is. I thought
I'm going cheetah.
I would call it a cheetah. I'm going to show you what I was talking about. Anyway. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Miranda sits next to their grandmas. Che gets up on the stage with a band and sings California Girls. I mean, I was just like, what is going on? Michael Patrick King, what are you doing? I wish they all could be California girls. I was like, what?
Like the whole, like, she didn't like have like a like it was very awkward. I even was having a hard time following. What is she doing? Like,
you mean they?
No, Miranda. Oh. Yeah. Well, like, what is she doing there?
Yes.
I'm talking about Miranda for a second. I'll get to Che in a second.
No. Because I didn't understand what Che was doing either.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a whole separate thing. But I'm like, okay, so what is going on? Like, what is she doing here? I was having a hard time figuring out her place there. And then when Che gets up on the microphone singing the song, I'm like, wait, you're not going to, there's no conversation?
No. And then also,
it was very weird for me to follow. And then I was trying to figure out, well, what's the whole thing about the song?
I don't know. It really was over the top, like corny for the whole thing. I don't know why. Yeah. And
like a big show to the family.
Little unreal. I mean, very unrealistic in my opinion.
It's not what I expected.
No. And also, were there who were the other family members? Because we only saw the grandmas who didn't understand what was going on as much as Miranda didn't. Okay. So Che announces that Hollywood called and they're making a pilot. Miranda's face drops. Then it's Che and Miranda talking, and Miranda's like, I had no idea. Like, she's starting to get her hysterical voice again. Che says they didn't want to say anything until it was real and got real quick. And Miranda said, but yeah, you had time to practice with a band. Which,
listen, I agree because you didn't have the decency to pull Miranda aside really quick.
It's a
privately.
Deal. Yeah.
Like,
big deal.
They're leading us on talking about the writers, right? And the producers, the director, right? They're leading us on to believe that they're in this, whatever you want to call, but I know they're not labeling the relationship or whatever,
but it's a relationship.
I would think, knowing Che's going to be upfront with Miranda, knowing Che's character. So this was un-Che-like, if you will. I thought so. To me.
I thought so too.
It was a little like, oh, and now I'm Hollywood. So like, but it makes us, it's like, it gives us a little like, spin. I don't know. Pivot. I don't want to say pivot, but like a little like, oh, of course. Now we have to see if this relationship lasts out when you're a big Hollywood star on TV.
Yeah. But also, Che's only making a pilot. Podcast. Pilots don't always succeed.
And Che is a comedian. I mean, is this the next Seinfeld?
Right.
I don't know.
But Che did say that Tony Danza is reading for the part of Che's dad.
Well,
which I was
Tony
into
Danza's
that.
involved. I mean, who's the boss? I'm down with that.
Not Tony Danza?
Is Tony Danza still a teacher?
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Like, he went back to teaching, right?
I would have totally taken his class. I had a huge crush on him as a child for Who's the Boss.
Dude, I don't even think he taught I think he was like an elementary or like high school teacher. I don't think it was like a professor.
Why didn't you Google this for your research?
To do.
I'm the only one Googling these rabbit holes. I wish you had went down this one.
Yeah. You know what? I should have went down this rabbit hole. I apologize.
I had no idea. And that's also what Miranda says. I had no idea. That's all Miranda keeps saying. Wait, though. I did put it in here. Che does ask Miranda to come with them, and that's when Miranda finally says, I had no idea, and says it more calm and excited. Okay, so now we're at the podcast, and Che tells them about LA. I am confused. I guess they still can't. They could do the podcast remotely because most people do nowadays. They don't go to a place.
Like us?
Yeah, like us. Like, we're
No, they treat the podcast as if it's
radio
a
show,
radio show.
which nobody no.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to have like a producer
like you
standing
podcast
there to make
live.
sure. I know, and if they have callers,
Right?
I don't know. So dopey.
It's a rate. I mean, yes, you can have callers.
You can have callers, but you don't have to. Again, you don't have to be. Believe me,
right. In the same
I know
room.
about me some podcasts, and you don't have to do that. And I don't get why they still couldn't keep doing the podcast while Che went to LA. Yes, you're filming a pilot, but I don't know. I was confused on that. So basically, Che says it's over. But then I was thinking, it's the whole premise like New York City, but I don't think so. I don't know. Jackie was in shock and thought it was a bit. And Carrie asks if she can still have free Pringles. Still get the free Pringles. And it's funny because I had Pringles in my house at the time, which I still think I have some. I don't have them all the time.
Who doesn't love a good Pringle? So what's your favorite flavor?
That's a nice.
You going sour cream and onion?
I like those.
Cheddar
cheese,
both,
and original.
I'm going anything but original.
Yeah, it's funny because I bought.
Because if I'm having an original chip, it's like something I can dip.
Yes,
in my chip.
Because you're spoiled with all the seasoning or the flavoring.
It
right?
Might as well have all the salt.
It's funny because I bought all three. They were gigantic at Aldi. I haven't been to Aldi in a while.
Like the Aldi brand or
these
the
were
Pringle brand?
They had the real deal, and they were
big deal.
More than probably 2.5 feet.
Yeah.
Long. I've never seen that before. It must have been for the Super Bowl, but I was just blown away that Aldi had those, and they were the real deal. I'll get the Aldi versions.
I once had a bag of chips. Was it last week for lunch? I forgot to bring lunch, but I had went grocery shopping in the morning. You'll love this. And I busted out of my trunk a bag of horseradish cheddar chips, and I ate the whole bag for lunch. And I told Matt the story.
Good thing you had a mask on with the kids.
He goes, oh, terrible. Like so much gum was had because I could smell my breath
through the mask.
Like coming back through my mask. I drank or ate so much gum. Chewed so much gum.
You ate it.
I can't talk. Anyway, and Matt was like getting on me about like how much the whole bag, and I was like, but it was not like those small bags.
There's a lot of air in
bags,
there.
Like
a lot of air in there.
I don't know how many ounces they were, and it was a specialty kind. It wasn't
so it was fancy.
The store brand.
So,
it was
like
a
real
fancy
cheese
kind.
Real,
so you were only getting like
radish.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was a whole thing.
There has to be some food groups in there. I'm thinking. Is horseradish
totally got?
Would that be considered a vegetable somewhere in there?
I cleaned out my sinuses. Cheddar. I got some protein in there, probably from the dairy. I forget where I got them. Maybe it was the health food store. So I thought they were healthy too. And they were like 5 ounces, but in like a 10-ounce bag. So anyway, that was lunch.
I can't believe you told your husband. He was probably like, ew.
He was a little bit taken aback. Like, you didn't have.
He wasn't turned on.
Lunch, and I didn't have time. But I remembered in my trunk was a bag of chips for our trip that I don't have right now. So
I love that.
There's that.
I love that. When Diana was pregnant with her second child, which I got to witness that, she would eat gigantic loaves of, I'm going to call it loaves of cheese, right? Like
a loaf of cheese? Like a bar, a brick?
A brick.
Oh, just like a candy bar. It was the best.
Wow. It was awesome. Anyway.
And when Jackie was pregnant, I didn't get invited to the baby shower, but we'll move on.
Right now. I just met her.
That's
and
a
the
whole
list
other
was being
backstory.
made.
Yeah.
Oh, it was quite the exclusive event, but she helped me with my entire registry. Yep. So, okay.
Love at first sight for me, friendship wise, but no, I didn't get
I was also
invite.
on her interview committee, and I loved her. So, I helped her get hired, but I didn't want her at my baby shower.
There.
I was delirious.
And you had like a real,
I don't know.
You had like a baby shower, like a club.
I did. And I had a co-ed. I basically had a mini wedding reception, sort of. Not even really. No, it was more.
Not room for one more.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
I
don't
apologize.
hold a grudge, people.
No,
I really
she
don't.
never holds grudges.
We went from chips to cheese to how you didn't invite me to your baby shower.
Grudges. Okay.
Let's move on.
Wow, my notes keep popping back into time. Oh, back to the lamp part.
It's me sending a signal to your iPad.
It's going back to the lamp part. It's very
See what I did? You better take that to the repair shop.
Okay. All right. So they're back. All right. So then we have Jackie and Carrie walking on the street. Oh, I was just going to say what she's wearing. Carrie is wearing a vintage London fog raincoat over a white sheer dress. She did have a belt, though, so I didn't realize it was a dress because it looked like two pieces. It looked like a skirt and a blouse. It wasn't, honestly.
Shout out to London Fog.
Hey, classic.
That's a throwback. Remember when it was like the brand to have for raincoats and gear, and now it's like...
If you were an old lady. Just kidding. No. In Buffalo, New York. Hey.
Okay.
Just kidding.
We went down to the London Fog outlet. You have no idea.
No, I did. I remember London Fog. I did.
It was legit.
Yeah. She has on a Sonia. She had a lot of like studded shiny bags, I think. This whole I liked her shoes too, which you couldn't see. I did see a close up of them on a website. Of course, don't ask me which one, but she has a Sonia Reichel Domino studded bag, and then Isabel Marant. Oh my gosh, I don't even know how to say this. Prasy, Prasy pumps, and they were studded. They matched the bag because the bag was like black with the studs, and then the pumps were black with stud. I liked that. I wasn't overly excited about the dress. So Carrie says that they cannot. Her words. I mean, she is a writer on the show, so maybe this is obviously why she has these lines. But she says, our friendship, something like our friendship cannot be we cannot be site-specific friends. I found that never heard that term used, So she said she really likes him, and he says, yeah, and you're coming to my party Friday. And she's like, what? And he forgot to invite her. Says she's a top guest, and he blames it on his executive functioning shot, SHIT. He does offer her a cigarette, and that's when we find out that she quit again.
Again.
Miranda now is in Naya's office, and Miranda tells her she's going to be finishing up her coursework remotely because she's going to LA for a few months because of Chase Pilot. She couldn't pass it up. And then Naya asks about the internship with HRW, which is a real thing. It's called Human Rights Watch, hrw.org, by the way. I'm not going into anything else. I just know it's a real thing. I found it. That's all. And Miranda says she's giving it up, and Naya asks her sure because it's really competitive, and she wrote her a glowing recommendation. Miranda says she's following her heart and trying not to second guess herself the way she usually would. Naya says she is selfishly disappointed because Andre Rashad. Oh, I looked up his character name. He is Andre Rashad, and then Wallace is his last name. So he's like Mary Elizabeth, or like I don't know, his name and his middle name, I guess, but I like saying his name. So he's going on tour.
I do too.
And she'll be flying solo for a few months, and she had hoped to hang with Miranda. Miranda asks, is it just a tour? And Naya says, not sure. They're not in the same place emotionally, so wanted to see how it would feel if they're not in the same place physically. She is such a good actress because she looked drained. Like, you can see the emotion on her face. I mean, I don't know if that she just somehow, I mean, she honestly looked tired. She looked like she'd been through something, but I felt bad. And she said they need to feel,
which makes sense. Like the what we've seen of them, of their romance and their connection, and how much emphasis they the show put on it to then have this point.
So she said, we need to feel what we might be throwing away. Need to feel what we might be throwing away for some baby we've never even met. I was like, oh.
That's really
sad. Oh, now Carrie is walking. She is wearing this blue blazer dress. Okay. And then a bag that matches. Almost, I think it looked like crocodile, like pattern on or whatever. I looked far and wide for who made this dress and even the purse. And excuse me, I went on, and just like that, costumes on Instagram. People asked, like I looked in the comments because they show a picture of this dress next to this other picture of, I believe, Carrie wearing a similar colored dress from Sex and the City. I think it's a baby shower. Anyway, people asked, like in the comments, who made this dress, and there was no reply about it. So I was disappointed. Okay, so Seema calls her. She is all in gold. She's all, that monochromatic, but it's all shiny gold. She's feeling sparkly. And I have to say, my friends and I, when I lived in the city, we'd go to the clubs, right? So when we went to the clubs, we would always be wearing something sparkly. We did not wear jeans. You were not allowed to wear jeans. You had to wear dress pants, like not dress pants, like a skirt dress. It was always black pants if you wore pants, like. And we would call it, instead of the walk of shame, we'd call ourselves Sparkly in the Morning because we were still sparkling. At least our clothes were in the morning.
So much better.
So I thought that was funny. She's wearing all gold. I don't know. I doubt that was her walk of shame outfit, but okay. But she did have a purple purse with, I believe, pink polka dots on it. I had to go back and look, and that's not like her. She had like all gold on.
That's not her thing.
And I don't know if I know. I don't think I could find the outfit, any kind of credit for the outfit. Okay, she thinks she likes him. That's what she tells Carrie, and not just because he's good in bed and that they both smoke Dunhills. So Carrie has to go. She's meeting John's brother. I find out his name is Richard because in the middle of their conversation, she calls him Richard. But I had to go back and listen. I was like, wait, what? Did she say his name? He does start off asking where John is. And of course, she thinks he's having like an Alzheimer's moment or something. And that whole part was kind of dopey.
Yeah, that was a little awkward.
Silly.
It didn't make sense.
And she's like, he died. Anyway, so he asks where his remains are. Like, why didn't he just say that? I don't know, whatever. She does tell him they're in her closet, on a shelf next to her very best shoes. And if he knew her better, he would know that's, very special spot, I guess. So he tells her about the family crypt in Connecticut, draws out a diagram, says that he could squeeze her in there. They could be together forever. I thought that was interesting.
Oh, boy.
She thanks him. It's a lovely offer, but needs to think more about it, about where John would want to be. And he does mention they're coming up on a year, as she's aware.
So we know time has passed, which we knew.
So we're back at the lamp shop. It was a bad wire. That's what he tells her. And she looks disappointed. She clearly wanted something. Wanted it to be big. All right. We're at Jackie's party. Okay, let me go to some of these outfits. Because I went on Shop Your TV. Oh, yes. So Smoke is wearing, and the actress's name or actor's name is Bethlehem Million. I have a feeling that's not her real name, but
that might be a stage name.
Maybe. Possibly.
But love that.
This dress, that yellow, it's actually 2 pieces. I'm sorry, it's not a dress. Indigo, Ndigo Studio, Lily top, and Adama skirt, Adamma skirt, FYI. I think it's, oh wait, I did click on it. Oh, come on. Oh, God. The top is $595. There you go.
Bargain.
Totally. What do I have? Oh, and then Carrie's dress is interesting. They did something to it. It was not strapless. It actually came up and it was like short sleeve. They also put like something under it to puff it out. Like I call it taffeta. I don't know what they did, but it's an Oscar de la Renta. I feel like there's been some Oscar de la Renta in this season as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Oscar de la Renta Magnolia Faille, Faille, split neck dress. And it does say altered. So yeah, it came up to, you can see. Look, oh, nope. That's a coupon.
10% off.
You see it? Yeah.
Yeah. That's the real dress.
Oh, it's $2,990 without the altercation.
But there's a 10% coupon
alteration.
code.
It's an altercation. Alteration. There's a 10%.
Yeah,
altercation. I know, 10% coupon code. So that would be $299 off. That's pretty.
Yeah, come on.
That's great. Okay. Carrie must have asked. Oh, I guess she asked how they met. I think we get it in the middle of a conversation. And Smoke says she saw Jackie, whatever he was wearing, and then he had that necklace on that said dripping, and she was like, really into it. So they're like, we have to go, talk to the guests. And surprise, it's their wedding, which I had a feeling.
Of course.
Did you have a feeling?
Oh, yeah, right away.
Because he matches her.
Oh, yeah, right away.
He matches her.
Yeah.
I loved her dress. Well, she looked really good in that.
Yeah, they're cute.
So they get married, they kiss, and then Franklin walks up to Carrie, and he's like, now that was a kiss. That's interesting that he says that to her. She had her awkward kiss. She asks,
it's building things that we thought all along.
I did forget about him a little bit, I'll be honest. Even though I was like, something's up with him, because they kept filming him, just staring.
Oh, yeah. And
I knew it.
There'd be shots of just him.
Yeah. Like laughing at Carrie's corny jokes.
Yeah, I've been waiting. Like, when is when are we gonna have a moment here? Because he has some sort of subtle part that's striking. Yes. So come on. Anyway.
So she asked if Che came, but Jackie probably didn't invite them because Jackie's feeling the bad breakup energy or something. Yeah, he was hurt. So Carrie says she should talk to him, to Jackie. And Franklin says, you should. You're really good at the relationship stuff. You're a podcast.
Right.
I mean, like we are a podcast. He wants to produce her alone, talking to callers.
Like Dr. Laura or something.
Yep.
Right? Again, a radio show. Dr. Laura has a radio show, not a pod. Well, she also does have a podcast.
Probably. But
people don't call into it.
Oh.
It's like you can listen back on her shows.
Right. Oh,
She's on XM Radio. And then you listen on her podcast.
Yep.
But people don't call into the podcast. No. I'm calling you out.
You
can just
do
that.
call-ins, though. But it's just...
I know.
I mean, I've called into podcasts that are recorded.
Yes, but they're not live.
You can listen to them live, but you have to do it through, you don't do it through Apple Podcasts.
But can you call in live?
Oh. Yes. But then it's in the archive. Then that's recorded. But you don't listen to it live through Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You have to listen via a website or the phone. You can actually just listen via the phone.
Right.
FYI.
Just saying.
It's called Awakenings with Michelle Mache. Okay? She does some psychic readings, life path readings, and then she has a guest. I'm plugging her now, too.
Okay.
May or may not have done some editing work for her, too. Okay. We got Carrie in her apartment, and she looks at the light and says, if you're trying to reach me, blink. I know. She turns off the light, and it comes back on. She says, that is so you. She turns it off and she starts dreaming of Paris. Hello, It's Me is playing. Now, Chris Noth, was supposed to be, I know he was supposed to be in a scene in Paris. My thing is, I believe it is that he was supposed to be in the dream sequence and not in I thought she may have, before I saw this episode, I was like, oh, maybe when she's on the bridge later on, she thinks she sees him, but I think it's supposed to be in the dream sequence, but it was cut because of the allegations. But you hear Hello, It's Me playing, you see the bridge, cafe, she's sitting at a cafe. Then you see her back at the wedding, and then you see her looking, and you hear him singing. And the funny thing, the line he says, did you hear the line that he sings? That you know you are free. Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah. So he's setting her free. That's what it felt like. She wakes up And the light is on again. And she looks at it. All right, we're at the they-mitzvah. Carrie's dress, I figured out, with the roses on it, is vintage. I found out. I bet you anything it is from the 90s because I had a top. I mean, I could show it to you. It's in our school yearbook. It's in my yearbook, 1993, year I graduated. And it's in the color because not all our pictures were in color, but it's an in-color picture. I'm wearing this shirt. It's literally the 3/4 length sleeves. It's the same cut on the top. I'm like, that's my shirt. Yeah. But hers was a dress. So from the 90s. Yeah. Her hair is from the 90s, like pulled up in that half pony, whatever you want to call it. Anyway. I could find the necklace, but I'm not going to talk about the necklace. It was a heart. But yeah. So the dress, vintage, and you can't get it. That's all I have to say. Of course. So Carrie tells Charlotte and Miranda that Bug, aka Big, came to her in a dream. She knows where he wants to be. Paris. On our bridge.
I mean, we kind of knew, so to speak, right? That would be the ultimate.
She wants to go there for the year anniversary, has plane tickets on hold and rooms for 3 days. Excuse me. She says, my treat. Charlotte's like, I can definitely swing it. Miranda looks stressed, and she's like, sure, let me check my schedule. Sure. Sure.
That's great.
So LTW shows up then in that great turban. You can find the turban on Shop Your TV, FYI, if you want it.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody but LTW can pull off that turban. That's all I can say.
Yeah, she was rocking it great. For sure.
She's like, Mazel Tov. And then she's like, Charlotte, candy bar at 10:30 in the morning. You know, we're like, hello. Hot fellows are dropping off the holla. I liked that they all had on rainbow. I want to call them yarmulkes, but they're called kippas, I guess. Like, I always called them yarmulkes. But when I did look it up, it's either, but I don't know. I don't know. I never heard kippas before. Did you ever hear that? Okay.
No, yarmulke. Okay.
But I noticed that the hot fellows had them on too. How did they get them?
Mm-hmm.
Like, right ahead of time. That's all. So Harry, she's talking to Anthony, I think, about the bread because it's so late, coming so late. And Anthony's like, don't say anything about the uniforms. I needed their help. It's funny that they're all wearing their uniforms. So Harry gets Charlotte. He's like, my darling, we have a situation. We see Rock. I just want to make a note. Rock is wearing one of Willie Garson's suits that he never got to wear. I thought it was a suit that he wore back in Sex and the City, but when I dove deeper,
and it was altered, right? Oh, it looked like one of his suits, but I thought it
had to have been altered. Okay. I mean, it looked a little big on Rock, but the pants had a drawstring, so I was a little confused on that. But yeah. So, but I read that it was a suit. No, I'm sorry. Where did I hear that? I actually think it actually came from that Molly Rogers, who's one of the wardrobe peeps. You will see her if you watch the documentary, which I did. It was so good. You will see Molly Rogers a lot in there. It was all about the clothes. All about the clothes. So good. And they talk about Willie Garson and yeah, I won't go into it, but not a lot of people knew he was really that sick, except for like Sarah Jessica Parker. Basically. So sad. Okay, of course my phone decided to go backwards. And so Rock is basically saying, here we go. Rock doesn't want to go out there. And Charlotte's like, you've been practicing and studying for months. And she's like, oh, sorry. And they says, no, I haven't. You have. I don't want to do it. I don't believe in it. And Rock says, any of it. Harry and Charlotte are schwitzing. They're freaking out. I did see a lot of people online were like, that was not cool. Like, Rock should have just done it. And they said the whole thing with like a bat mitzvah or they mitzvah or whatever. It's not really about the religion. It's really just about I guess, growing up or something. I don't know. So people were very upset about that.
Yeah,
a little late too. You put the suit on, Nobody forced you to put the suit on.
Yeah.
So
you're at the party.
So then Carrie and Miranda are at that candy bar, which me and you would have been like bags filled.
I've been down with that.
Filling up.
Do we got a to-go
Oh my God, we would have been emptying out our purse and filling it up. So Miranda mentions that she would need to change her flight to be from LA to Paris. And Carrie asks, why are you going to be in LA? Miranda says, going out there with Che. Carrie asks for how long. Miranda says, I don't know. But it's perfect timing because Louisa and Brady are going backpacking in Europe. Oh, I saw another like criticism. They were like, Miranda would have left Brady if he was a toddler. I was like, relax. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, where are we here? So Carrie's like, you can't go on a 14-hour flight from LA to Paris. And she said she would have never said anything if she had known, I guess, that she was going to LA, but she just didn't know. And she walks away and she's like clearly PO'd. So Miranda follows her into the bathroom, and Miranda says she looked up the dates. She could be there for her, wants to be there for her and for Che. Says she passed up an internship for the taping, and Carrie's like, the one you said was impossible to get? Miranda's like, that feels like judgment. And Carrie says, just trying to catch up here. So this whole thing sounds very similar to when Carrie was going to go to Paris with the Russian, and Miranda was really against it. Do you know, I rewatched that clip because I couldn't remember it. And I was also trying to see if Carrie said anything that was similar to what Miranda said, but it wasn't.
Oh, right.
It wasn't. But anyway, Carrie says this is a lot, a lot of
the Russian.
Carrie says a lot of information. This is a lot of information being thrown out at me. And Miranda says, why can't I choose love over an internship? And Carrie says, of course you can. But what are you going to do all day? Sit in an audience and laugh? And that was one thing Miranda said. What are you going to do all day? Eat croissant? And Carrie's like, yeah, I am, or whatever. And Miranda says, maybe. And Carrie says, that was a bit of a judgment. Says how she's known Miranda for 100 years. And Miranda says, and I'm not allowed to change a little bit or a lot or change back again if I feel like it. Do I have to follow my own rigid rules till the day I die? Carrie says, I never said that. Miranda says, I feel like I can't go to LA without letting you down. And then Carrie says, if you want to go to LA, go to LA. Why do you care what anyone thinks? And Miranda says, because you are not just anyone, you're you. So Rabbi Jen comes out. Rabbi Jen figures out,
fresh from the stall,
figures out who is who with the voices. Then Rabbi Jen has a problem with the paper towel roll, which is kind of funny because it wasn't working on the bottom, so it puts their hands at the top. Yeah,
I think we can all relate to that. Between the soap and the automated.
I know.
Paper towel
and even
holders.
The toilet
bowl.
My
dear.
Okay. So Rabbi can tell how strong their bond is. It's precious and worth protecting. Says has to get going because they have a wedding at 3 in Bushwick. Hard out at 2. Let's go. That's funny. So now there's a stare down with Harry, Charlotte, and Rock. And Harry's like, what do you want, Rock? An Oculus? An Apple Watch? Rock says, that's not the point. Rock doesn't want to be labeled as anything. A boy, a girl, non-binary, a Jew, a Christian, a Muslim, a New Yorker. And they freak out when she says New Yorker.
Slow down. A New Yorker?
You're not a New Yorker?
That's what got their attention.
Yeah. And Charlotte's like, so you're just nothing now? Rock's like, I'm only 13. Can't I just be me? Okay. Well, 13, it's interesting because it's like you're supposed to be becoming an adult at 13. No, you're not.
But you're not.
It's very old school. Not. I mean, it's tradition.
You're just hormonal.
Yeah. I'm not. Well, no, that's
okay.
You know what I was going to sing, right? I'm not singing.
I know.
Okay. All right. Charlotte comes out and tells LTW that Rock doesn't want to do it and feels like a failure. Charlotte does. LTW says, every mom I know. Oh my gosh. just skipped down again. Has felt like a failure. That's what I think she says.
Mm-hmm.
At least once a day or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, it's great. Every mom in this room feels like a failure at least once a day. No one tries harder than you. She's watched her take care of everyone else. And then she says, let's forget about what everyone else wants. Let's forget about everyone else for a change. What do you want? So she goes back into Harry and Rock and says that she didn't come all this way and do all this work. Someone is being they-mitzvah'd today. And it's Charlotte. And then her family joins her up there.
That was great.
So now we have Carrie, Miranda, and Charlotte. They say Mazel Tov, and Carrie tells Charlotte that Miranda is not coming. Miranda says she's going to be in LA with Che. I'm in love. And Charlotte says she's so happy for her. And they hug. And then Carrie says going to do it, to Paris on her own. Charlotte tells Miranda she owes her a trip to Paris, which I thought was funny because the first time through I thought she told Carrie that. No, she tells Miranda.
Yeah.
Miranda and Brady coming out of the apartment. Well, no, it's not an apartment, house, but Brady's coming out. Miranda's out there already. And Miranda's hair is back to red. She looked good. I thought it looked good. And I liked her. Oh, I have to tell you about her belted jumpsuit. Belted. It comes with the belt.
Belted.
It is Max Mara Dakar belted wool jumpsuit. What? That's wool?
That's wool?
That's what it says. Let's see how much that costs.
Fun fact. It can't be that much.
No. 1,000?
Not that brand.
I know. It's Max Mara.
No.
Oh, yeah. It's $941 on sale.
Told you.
That's not a lot. It was down from $1,345.
Yeah. Get that down at the outlet. $7.99. No tax. Bring your own bag. Save the 5 cents.
Yeah.
I don't know if people have to pay for their bags like we do.
Okay.
Anyway.
So Brady.
I did like this scene a little bit because I was like, oh, okay, Brady's going to talk.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like all connected.
Okay. He annoys me.
I know.
You know why he annoys me, and I will not say on here. He reminds me of somebody we both know. Okay. What happened to the gray pride? That's what he says to her. And she's like, it's still there. And then he's like, you're just copying my look or something. And she's like, yeah, I had it first. All right. Now we got Carrie, and Paris.
Oh.
Now, Carrie, when I first saw this dress, I actually thought the dress was orange and pink, like hot pink. I didn't realize that the gloves were separate. Yeah. So this dress was Oscar. No, sorry. Oh my gosh. What am I saying? Valentino.
I was going to say that wasn't it. I thought you were about to say Oscar.
I almost said it.
I was like, that is not
it's a Valentino gown. I believe it's vintage. Although right here I can't see it. But when I thought in the documentary it was vintage. And hot pink leather opera gloves. And what's really funny is I actually did like them, but someone made a reference to the Playtex gloves. They said they looked, and she wore her Playtex gloves.
Oh my gosh.
Which I was like, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
And she has that Timmy Woods Eiffel Tower bag. And she spreads the ashes. Oh, but before she spreads the ashes, she walks up to the bridge and there's a gentleman, an older gentleman wearing a suit with like they call it like a newspaper boy cap or whatever. And he has a dog, walking a dog that looks very similar to Gogi. Now that didn't come from me. I did read that and I was like, oh, because I watched the first time and I didn't notice. I think I was staring at her dress, to be honest, and her gloves. And they said they pointed that out. And I was like, the guy didn't really look like big. He looked a little more frumpy.
No.
But the dog did. Yeah. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
This is from Grazia magazine, by the way, about this outfit. And Carrie texts Samantha basically right after. Oh, they are playing Hello, It's Me in the background. Text Samantha about meeting up, and she says tomorrow night. And Carrie writes, fabulous.
Yeah, I like that they did this.
Now we have Carrie recording her podcast. And there's a caller named Ellie. I looked far and wide to see whose voice this was, and I couldn't find it. And I can't believe that.
It wasn't me.
No?
I was not called for this.
I'm sorry.
Voiceover work.
I just was surprised.
Unfortunately.
Like, I even looked on IMDb. Usually IMDb can... whatever, Diana. So I looked on IMDb, and I mean, if I was that voice, I would tell everybody. So the caller says her partner, whatever, broke up with her with no explanation. I'm gutted. And asks Carrie, what do you think happened? And Carrie says, so sorry, no idea. And she's like, you don't? She's like, no, I wish I did. The more I live my life, the more I find myself mystified. You will laugh again, especially if you have one or two friends in your corner. And then Ellie says, you really helped me. You really helped. Made me feel better. Wait, I just want to say her outfit. She is wearing a rose and metallic gold 1960s Oscar de la Renta paisley print dress with coordinating necklaces from Marlo Laz with the spiked heart design and neck guards. Turquoise tile Riviera piece. But I did get excited when she said the name of the podcast was called Sex in the City. Like her column.
Yes.
I got the chills a little bit. Then Franklin says, it couldn't have gone any better. She's like, I think it could have. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. They get in the elevator together and they start kissing. Yes. And I started crying. And you hear her just say, and just like that. I have the chills right now.
The moment we were waiting for, so to speak.
Yeah. I did have chills. I definitely cried. The music was good.
It was a sweet ending.
And it's funny because I saw
all around.
Yeah, I saw on one of the Facebook pages. They're like, I'm rewatching Sex and the City, and she says, and just like that a lot. I'm like, yeah, I do remember that. She would say that when she would narrate a lot. But I do miss her narration throughout the show. I don't know why they took that away.
Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah.
I also found it interesting because I was watching the credits again, trying to find out who this mystery caller was. And they
determination.
Yes, they said starring Che Diaz, not Che Diaz, Sarah. I want to call her Che Diaz. Sorry. Che Diaz, Sarah Ramirez, Sarah Jessica Parker calls them Sarah in the documentary. FYI. Yeah. They write Sarah Ramirez as starring, and then they say something like guest. I don't know if they wrote guest starring, but they called guest Nicole Ari, who's LTW, and then Nia Wallace is Karen Pittman. Like guests. I was like, I thought that was interesting. I found out, I guess I don't know if this is from the documentary or not, to be honest. I think so. One more thing from the documentary. When people saw it being filmed and they saw Nicole Ari being filmed, people were outraged and they thought that she was replacing Samantha's character. And she got like, I called it hate mail, but there's no such thing as hate mail. But I guess she got a lot of hate for that. So anyway, but she didn't replace her. So yeah. And just like that.
That's a wrap on that.
Whew.
That was fun to review.
It was.
Some good stories.
Lots of outfits to talk about. A lot.
So many outfits.
That's what put me down some rabbit holes.
Yeah.
And references to the other show. We're thinking about the Gilded Age. Right? And the first episode is 2 hours. So we don't want our podcast to be 4.
Yeah, no. That's like living the Titanic all over again in the movie theater. Nobody's got time for that. So we could do like a part 1 and part 2.
We
maybe.
might.
I don't know. We'll have to talk about it.
Do you guys want to hear that?
Yeah.
Or 25 people who listen?
Please let us know.
Yes.
If you'd like us to talk about a 2-hour episode.
No, we're not gonna do
parts.
2 hours. We can't. I won't do it.
Dear.
I'll be good. I won't take so many notes.
How is that an episode?
I mean, it's kind of like having a double. I don't even know. I don't know. But when
a double header?
I don't know.
What do you?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
We have some homework to do.
And
We'll be back, of course, with something.
Please rate us on Spotify if you listen to through Spotify, because we have no rating right now and it looks sad. And I'm not going to rate myself. I could listen to some. I think you have to listen to a few. I could go and do that, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah. If you listen on Spotify, rate us. That would be helpful.
Rate us well.
Thank you. Yeah, please do. Please do. We could use the feedback.
Hopefully we all hear Diana very well today.
Yeah. Nice and loud.
All right.
Mic check.
Bye.